my name is Alexander Query. Welcome to the program. The German Foreign Minister Sigmar Gabriel is currently paying a 2-day visit in Ukraine. He will hold negotiations with Ukraine Foreign Minister Pavlo Klimkin, after which the two will visit war-torn Donbass. What to expect from this visit, according to the German Foreign Minister's recent declarations on Ukraine? Joining us in the studio for an overview of this visit is Mariya Heletiy, Deputy Project Director at Ukrainian Center for Independent Political Research. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
So my first question would be, Germany's foreign minister is due to visit the front line in eastern Ukraine. Does this mean that Germany will get more involved in the Minsk agreement process and in the Normandy format then? And if so, how?
I think Germany is already involved in the process of negotiations for the peaceful resolution of the conflict in Ukraine and also in Normandy format. But I would say that Germany is not the biggest player in this conflict. I would rather say that the US plays actually a huge role in the conflict resolution. But currently, as I understand, Germany will try to play a better role in the conflict resolution, and particularly after the elections in Germany and Merkel victory, I think it will try to regain this role and try to search for solution for the conflict. And we know that in Ukraine there are a lot of talks about peacekeeping mission in Donbass, and actually Germany also has own opinion regarding this mission, and also I assume it wanted to play a better role and maybe force Russia to some agreement regarding this mission.
That's interesting, because you talked about the Peacekeeper mission, and do you think, because it seems to play, the idea was pushed by Vladimir Putin at first, and it seems at first to play in the hand in some sort of way on Vladimir Putin. Isn't it a bit ambiguous in that case?
It is, but actually the issue of the mission was raised also by Ukraine, and there was two resolutions, draft resolutions, first submitted by Russia and second submitted by Ukraine to the UN regarding the peacekeeping mission. And just these two resolutions has different mandate for the peacekeeping mission. As you know, Russia wants to have peacekeepers only on the conflict zone, conflict line, and also it wants to keep it as peacekeepers, and also for those who help to protect OSCE monitors. The other countries, including Ukraine, want to have peacekeepers on the whole territory of Donetsk and Luhansk Oblast, including the conflict zone and the so-called DNR and LNR. And also they wanted to keep it on the line, on the border between Russia and Ukraine. And also they believe that this role should be a little bit different than only to protect OSCE monitors.
Now, I have a question about Sigmar Gabriel himself, who is also a bit of an ambiguous character here. He's a staunch defender of the Nord Stream 2 project, and a joint venture project with Russia, who could hit hard on Ukrainian economy. And he also, last year, repeatedly called for sanctions against Russia to be lifted. Now, is he really the best ally for Ukraine? And now, just before you answer, we have this little short recording of Sigmar Gabriel talking about his relation with Russia.
On the other hand, of course, we also have to make our interest more clear towards Moscow. So Moscow, with the annexation of Crimea and eastern Ukraine, they call into question the international order, very much so. But still, it's a neighbor, and an influential neighbor, as I described with Syria. So there's only going to be a peace and stability is only going to be with Russia, not against Russia. And all the more, so if we see the danger of nuclear weapons spreading around the globe, it's only the cooperation between USA, Russia, and meanwhile China that we will be able to stem that tide.
So what's your take on this quote? And
Germany has always a lot of interests with Russia. And we also have to understand that Germany has business interests with Russia, and of course for them Ukraine and conflict in Ukraine is not necessarily the biggest issue for them. Sometimes business interests are more important than resolution of the Ukrainian conflict. And it's first thing. The other thing that still, we have to understand that Putin is a player in international arena, and it's not just, it would not be easy just to get rid of him. And the question whether we should get rid of Putin in terms of, when we have some, I don't know, re-election and maybe another person came to the power, maybe this person will be even worse. At least many in international arena believes that, to get rid of Putin, it's not the solution of the whole situation in Ukraine. It means that Putin, yes, he is the problem, but dissolute Russia is also a problem, and nobody wants it. It's like everybody preserves status quo instead of doing some steps.
Sure, but this status quo plus the business interest, doesn't it mean that in a long term it might harm Ukraine more than it will help?
Yes, but I wanted to believe that after the elections, because, in Germany a lot of people actually support Russia, support business relationship with Russia. And before the elections, it was difficult to play against this. It was difficult to have strong statement against this. After the elections, I wanted to believe that the situation would change, because now they have more time to do something, and maybe if they would be more active in the conflict resolution in Ukraine, then it will bring them more support among the citizens. And
now the last question. Sigmar Gabriel recently made a declaration about post-Brexit, including Ukraine, and said he recently called for post-Brexit Britain to be, quote, a model for Turkey and Ukraine. So he called for a new kind, a closer form of the custom unions, but not exactly a full membership if we use the post-Brexit model. So for you, what does he mean? And does it mean that he's not a support of Ukraine's full membership of Europe, or how to take that kind of quote according to you?
I think none of the old EU members, they support Ukraine's membership, full membership in the EU. It's rather because I think Ukraine a little bit failed with our information campaign. We were not so active as, for example, Russia. Trying to attract Europe and show that Ukraine is valuable partner. But I believe that this may change, because nobody expected EU association agreement. And I remember I talked to some experts 2 years ago, 2 years before the association agreement was signed, and they were like, they even could not imagine, that it would be possible. And it happened. I think the same with membership. We just need more time to show that Ukraine is a real partner for Europe, and it is important for Europe. And in my opinion, Ukraine is more important for Europe than any other country, because now we are standing for their security. And of course, many people will say that, we are manipulating with the war in Ukraine and with Russian aggression or potential aggression. But I believe that Ukraine really stands for the Europe's security, and if we would not stop Russia in Ukraine, we never know where Russia would be.
Well, thank you for this really interesting interview. It was a pleasure to have you in the studio for this interview. That was Mariya, Heletiy, Deputy Project Director at Ukrainian Center for Independent Political Research. Thank you for watching the program. Stay tuned for the rest.